There is a certain apartment building in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. No one lives in that apartment, and it's never been up for sale. However, there have been reports of neighbors who hear strange noises coming from that apartment. The apartment right below that one was for sale though. A businessman called Matheus Lamira bought the apartment and started living there. But after 2 weeks, he just couldn't handle the noises coming from the mystery apartment. He was a successful businessman, owner of a donut franchise and partnerships with various companies. After talking to his neighbors about the noises, they said no one lived in that apartment. So, Matheus decided to check. After knocking on the door 3 times, he heard nothing. Surely whoever was making noise couldn't have just gone out without anyone noticing. He knocked a 4th time. The door opened, but no one was there. Unimpressed, he entered. The door closed behind him. What a cheap trick, he thought. Walking inside, he called for anyone who might be there. That was when he saw the things. Huge, worm-like creatures with pink heads. One of them loomed over Matheus as he watched in awe. Then, it wrapped itself around him, trapping him completely. The thing seemed to have no end to its reach. It just stretched around like it was rubber. The head looked closely into Matheus's face and stuffed itself in his mouth. Moving around as if Matheus were actually sucking it, the thing then proceeded to go further down his throat. Matheus felt it crawling inside him, soaking itself in his inner workings. He couldn't even move his tongue without feeling like he was licking the thing, and that thought irked him. Another one of the creatures appeared and entered Matheus through his posterior, going through his dark blue pants. He felt it as the thing went up through his body. Then he felt excruciating pain as the first creature exited through his ear, spilling a bit of blood as its head was finally out of Matheus's body. Tears streamed down his face as he felt nothing but agony and despair over the whole ordeal. I'll never escape this, he thought as he cried. He wanted to scream, but the creature was still covering his whole mouth. His left eye went numb, as it was pushed out by the second creature while its head escaped from inside Matheus's body. The floor was soaked with his blood, and his left eye just lay there, no longer a part of him. The heads of the 2 creatures joined together in front of him, almost as if they were forcing him to look with his remaining eye, as they drooled after basically penetrating him. A pure white, sticky drool. The 2 creatures came close to Matheus's nose. So close, in fact, that the tears of despair he was releasing through his eyes were soaking the things. Then, they stuffed themselves inside his nose, each creature inside one nostril. They crawled all over inside his head, touching his skull, touching his brain even. Then, it arrived. His agony, his suffering, was all over. The creatures tore through his head, completely destroying it. Blood soaked the whole apartment, and from Matheus Lamira's destroyed head, or rather, the remains of his head, came 2 new creatures. Matheus Lamira's company went bankrupt after his disappearance, and had to be bought by LK's, a company led by a very important businessman called Tom Lucas Clem. One day, Lucas Clem decided to visit the apartment where Matheus Lamira lived when he died. He was bothered by the noises coming from the apartment above him, and decided to go have a talk with whoever lived there.